it's very interesting because we can become so consuming, right? And we lack that producing quality.
Yeah.
And we just continue to consume, to consume.
Consumer.
And that's all we
rampant.
know. And then we're like, we sit in bed and we look up at the ceiling and we're like, bro, why am I not making any progress? You want to know why you're not making any fucking progress? Because you're not doing shit.
Yeah.
I let the sun shine down on me. I pray for blessings for all of my homies. Let them know you can get it if you want it. Yeah. I manifested and then I go get it.
We got a couch!
Yes.
Oh, yeah, honestly. Alright, I just picked up this bad boy. Very high quality, you know, cost me a couple $100. Okay, no, I'm kidding. Alright, like, someone gave this to me.
Welcome to the conscious couch!
To the conscious couch. Alright, this thing has superpowers, believe it or not. And, yeah, this is enhancing our penis size tremendously.
Oh,
so
through the fucking roof.
Through the fucking roof.
Actually,
yeah.
my cock. Through the roof.
You can't see it right now, but
You can't see it because it's out of frame, but it's fucking straight.
All right. So today we are going to be talking about passive perseverance. All right,
That's progression.
fuck.
Passive. Cut. Run it back.
All right,
Passive progression.
we're talking about passive progression. All right, and so Cole, I'll give you the floor in a second. All right.
No, take it away.
Yeah,
my guy.
no. I'm not going to talk too long, but except for the entire fucking episode.
Yes.
No.
One-sided
Yeah.
couch.
Yeah, this side's more conscious. Whatchamacallit? Yeah, so no, Cole we just kind of talked back and forth for like about 20 minutes. He had a great experience over these past couple days, weeks, whatever you want to say.
It was literally yesterday.
Fucking, yeah, yesterday. Yeah, and he's just been, vibing. And this is something we like I said before, we were discussing, and it's something that I found a lot of experience in myself. It's not to put us above others, but it's just to share our experience to help you experience this yourself. So with that being said, Cole, go right ahead.
Yeah, so let's go back. Let's wind the clocks back a little bit. So over the summer, and I'd say, coming into the semester, I was doing a lot of self-growth in terms of, changing how I dress, and behaving more open socially. I'm not an introvert by any sense of the imagination, but I did have a very standoffish vibe about me. And, me changing what I was wearing, it wasn't about how other people viewed me. It was about how I present myself. It was more about what I think about me than anybody else thinking of, putting their impressions onto me. And I started with, changing my clothes. And when I, started dressing better, I definitely felt way more confident.
Okay, real quick. What made you want to change your clothing? Internally?
Change of routine, kind of, And, I saw, it was kind of an emulation. I saw all these successful people, they dress, this guy dresses different. I want to kind of, or it was really just personal preference, to be honest.
Okay.
Wholly, it was just I probably could dress better. It wasn't really a matter of impressing anybody. It was more of a matter of, I could do better.
Yeah, so you felt an attitude change, you'd say?
Yeah, it was I could do better, let me do better. And I did do better.
Gotcha.
Before, actually, let me just be completely fucking straight up with you. All of my life, my entire life, I would only wear sweatpants and a t-shirt. And, sneakers like this. And, I did not dress well by any sense of the imagination. I didn't wear jeans. Ever. Until, recently. When I was a kid, you get whatever clothes your parents put you in. And then when you start dressing yourself, I'm more sweatpants, more t-shirts. I wore that for literally my entire fucking life. And then now I switching it up, and I'm wearing different shit. I did a little bit of research into styling, to change myself, how people present and view me. And I felt way more confident having come into my own style. And I was able to give off more of a vibe, a resonation from just how I was dressing. I'm I feel better personally, and that was I was pushing out that vibe of I feel like a boss. You know, I'm confident. I'm getting everything, and I was always going to the gym, you know, and that was just a constant of my life, and I was bettering myself physically. Last year, I literally I put on 10 pounds of muscle just eating right and everything, not super strict, but a good diet, and I came out of that, and I come into the spring, and that's where I started changing my style. And once I changed my style, I was getting compliments from people. That's not why I did it, but it was a byproduct of changing myself. Like passively. This is what we're talking about, passive progression. Where if you're trying to change yourself for the better, actively, like you're taking an approach to shift yourself into another paradigm, then you can not because of you want a certain result, because you want to be better. That's why I did. I changed myself to be better, not for anyone else's opinion. But now I'm getting a lot of respect for it. Like at the gym especially. Like yesterday was a tremendous day. Like I was opening up my body language more. That was another thing I was working on, just being more open and more approachable. And I met a lot of new people. And I was going forward with that. And yesterday, it was as if all of my work just came in a little nice present yesterday. Like I was getting respect from people at the gym. I was getting compliments on what I was wearing. People tell me I looked good, like I even met, somebody walked up and like asked for my contact information, like twice that day. And it was like fucking like, damn, this is a great day.
The car sounded like a ripped ass.
Somebody just flew by in their car in the background. It sounded like someone farted. That was funny as fuck. But yeah, no, like that's a kind of passive progression. Like you're progressing at actively as you being yourself, trying to better yourself. But then all of the rewards kind of come later. Because
Mind if I add this one more point, and then I'll let you go back. And then, so I think what you're pointing towards is you're not your attention is not directly focused on gaining that reward.
Yeah, your attention isn't reward focused. Yeah, it's more growth focused.
Yeah, it's focused on whatever the shit you're doing, and then in that moment, right? And then like you said, it's a byproduct of what happened. It just showed up randomly, And what do you know? You're embodying that what you're doing actively is who you are, right? Your routines, your habits, your beliefs, your attitudes, all of that is coming into a line with the outside world, right? And then this is law of attraction, right? You start to what you put outwards begins to reflect back into you. And kind of in a sense it happens without you even trying.
Yeah.
Right? And it's it's effortless.
That's literally exactly what happened.
Exactly.
All these byproducts, all these steps that I was taking to improve myself was slight changes that just helped elevate me as a person. And once it's kind of giving everybody else binoculars so they can see me better for who I am. But that's not what I'm not the one handing out binoculars. The vibe is. You're generating this energy and people are picking up on it and they're like, who's that guy? And it's weird because it's I'm not used to this. And it's it did catch me off guard, but it made my day yesterday. Getting all these positive vibes and this attention. And it's
but you're not doing it for the attention.
Exactly. I was just about to get that. It's I don't care about the attention. Yeah. I talk about it all the time.
You're out of the funk!
You gotta get out the funk, but we gotta get that shadow work going on.
100%.
But I like to work in the dark, but because I'm not looking for attention. But other people start turning on the light, and they see the work in progress and the masterpiece. Yeah. And that's kind of the passive progression, because it's not. You're actively progressing as a person, but it's more of a social progression, because you're not doing anything to directly affect anybody else. aside from you, and you positively affecting you is giving off the vibe to other people.
Yeah.
And they pick up on it, and they, like you said, law of attraction. You put it out and you get it back.
Yeah, definitely. But I think a big distinction I want to make right here is the people, like, let's just say when they notice it, right?
Yeah.
They're not determining your worth. Okay?
No, they're
like,
not
okay,
at all.
Because I was thinking about this while you were saying it, and I was thinking, like, this could be an interpretation. Like,
Yeah.
you do not, like, so you change your habits, you change your behavior, you change who you are completely, right? To this version of yourself that you prefer, and you're bettering yourself, right? Like
Yeah.
Cole is doing right now, like I am doing currently as well. But you have to recognize, like, you know what the fuck is up. Like, you
Yeah.
are there. You are you are there all of your waking hours.
Yeah.
You know what the fuck you're doing,
Yeah.
right? And obviously there's shit in the background that's, you
Yeah.
know, not necessarily working. So, like,
Yeah.
don't feel bad if people don't recognize that, like, what the fuck is up. It'll come in time. Don't
Yeah.
rush it, right?
Yeah, like, literally, psychology, I forget what his name is. That's some...
Big guy?
No, it was, I'm trying to think of the psychologist. His name was,
Pavlov, got B.F. Skinner.
No, it was Theories of Personality.
Oh! Albert Bandura?
No, different.
Oh, fuck.
It's not, it was Carl Jung, fucking, what's his name? Either way, one of these philosophers, check them in the comments if you're into know about psychology. We'll probably put it send it to Cal, we'll put it in the scripts or something. But it was this whole deal of self-actualizing people. And the whole concept of self-actualization is becoming a complete human, personality-wise.
Yeah.
And studies show that self-actualizers require less valid, like they use social media less, like me and you.
Yeah.
Like, this
Yeah.
dude will check Instagram at, like, right before he goes to bed because he doesn't fucking need to look at it. And
But like I used to a lot. You know?
yeah, exactly. And it's like, I check Instagram a lot because it's fucking, you know, I
Nothing wrong.
like to absorb the content that's on there. It's not a matter of other people's lives. It's just comic book news,
Yeah, of course.
motivation, stuff like that. You know, good, healthy, social.
No one way to do it.
Yeah. And it's like, the thing is, it said self-actualizing people aren't on social media enough because the likes don't determine their validate. Like, they don't garner validation from the number of likes they have on the posts. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, we see it for what it is. It's, especially with this YouTube channel, views aren't everything, but they're a benchmark of progress.
100%.
That's all they are.
Yeah.
It's like how money is a resource and not this big thing that everybody makes it up to be.
Yeah.
And like, if you can change your mindset when it comes to the little things like this, you don't give them as much power. Like likes on social media, especially because we're so plagued as a generation by that. Like, we're attached to the shit on the screen that's not pertaining to us. Like, this, it's separate because there's that picture of you, but you attach so much to it so you can get the likes back. But if you sever it, just put it out there, and it gets likes, it's separate from you.
Yeah.
If you attach yourself to these superficial things, you're less because of it, really.
Yeah.
And it's like, you stick it out there, people like it, they don't, you don't give a shit. We don't give a shit. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like the Halloween pictures.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. I like showing people the costumes, but I'm not attached to it.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, if you're a self-actualizer, which we very much are, you know, we're not peak complete humans, but we have habits that are bringing us towards there.
Yeah.
You know, there's different levels.
Yeah, 100%.
And self-actualization is like the top, like most,
Oh, gotcha.
like it's like a list of needs. So it's
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So it's like, you got,
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Yeah, you got-
I know you're talking. Like, I
like,
know the pyramid,
survival needs and everything.
Yeah.
And then you get the self-actualization, and it's like, yeah, I can remember.
I know exactly who you're
Yeah,
talking about.
but
yeah.
it's like
and
that-
what you're talking about.
But that, you know, you need to practice habits that will aid you in self-actualization, because that's true. I don't give a fuck, and I feel like that is very important.
Oh, we're good. Okay.
Damn. Feels like we've been talking forever.
Got a couple minutes left.
We got a couple minutes
But yeah, yeah, man. That they, oh just bringing up social media is a great point. Like,
especially with this topic.
yeah, man, it's
because it's very much we started off the episode with how it's like I'm working by myself, and then the rewards came separately because I wasn't looking for them.
Yeah,
that's the same thing kind of with social media. I'll fucking give it to you.
Yeah, and no, definitely. And it's like, I think it was Eckhart Tolle that told me about. Oh yeah, he told me not. Yeah, Eckhart Tolle told me, one of the gurus of the spiritual world. Yeah, imagine. So pretty much, like I was watching one of his videos. He called social media like your manifested ego, right? It's yeah, it's crazy. I was like, oh my god, that's so true, right? Like so in his terms, your ego is like who you identify as. Like he calls it the forms, and so you identify. It's like your false self, right? And you're putting out like what you think you are, right? And you're like crafting like certain characteristics that you want to show people, right? And it's like this illusional self that's not real, and like I think like we could definitely get trapped in that. Like I know I have, maybe you have, but like to a certain extent, it's like how like when do we recognize it, and then when do we stop doing it, and then does it continue? And like if we were able to stop and take a step back and just like see it for what the fuck it is, I think a lot of progress can be made, and like that is like the foundation to start making self-actualizing process.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's
you have to separate yourself from other people's opinions.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like I'm gonna
think for yourself.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start this off because I love David Goggins. I think everybody knows on the podcast I love David Goggins. That's viewers, and you fucking know it especially. It's such a big source of motivation.
He's good.
He put out a fucking video the other day, and I love it so much. He's like, everybody's got these type of months that like where they get better about themselves. In like this window, you got like sober October and shit like that. You know, no nut November. Well, I got fuck you every day, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. And it's because exactly. And I'm like, absolutely, and that's who you gotta be.
Yeah.
When it comes to other people's problems, you gotta go, or like other people's opinions and validation, you gotta go fuck you every day. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work
it's
on
like,
myself.
Not as aggressive, but Ralph Smart, like another guy who I fucking love. He's not nearly as like work hard in your face.
Goggins is
I like that though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, the universe doesn't take a day off, so why should I? It's like, bro, you gotta like who you are doesn't take a day off, right?
No.
Like if you start to change into a person that's unpreferable, then your reality out there is going to change.
Yeah, exactly. And you gotta like you said, what you put, you get out, or you get what you put out.
Yeah.
And so you need to start putting out the best version of yourself, and then you'll get recognized for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I did yesterday.
Or needed fuck on it.
I don't know.
Well, if I do it now.
That could just be my sweaty ass. So.
Oh no! I wasn't smelling that. My friends made a joke about it.
No, I meant the smell. I was smelling it to see if it was fucked up, but I'm saying my smelly ass might have like
I can't fucking smell it right now.
No, it was cleaned. Dude, I have a fucking nose like a wild animal, dude. Like fucking Zane. Like we had this past tenant send like Dr. Squatch soap to our fucking house. And it's been there for a while, but we're not opening because it's illegal to open someone else's mail. And he was like, "What scents does he have?" And he was sniffing it and was like, "It smells like nautical sage." I'm like, give it over here." And I'm like, "Yeah, nautical sage." And I move it up. Bay rum, pine tar. Like I have a nose like a fucking animal.
There you go. Nice, cool.
Are we live? Oh shit! All right, well. You get my fucking freakish senses. But alright. Let's go! Alright.
Pine tar.
Pine tar.
If you guys want to learn how to put dip in your mouth, starting a YouTube channel. No,
Skull. We got the Copenhagen.
Oh man. But yeah, no. So we're bouncing right back into it. And yeah, so I forget exactly where we left off. Do you remember where exactly we left off?
We're talking about fuck you every day.
Fuck you every day. Yeah,
and being authentic.
Yeah, man, you just gotta fucking be like in another.
When it comes to other people's opinions, I mean, You know,
I was going to get to that.
Yeah.
No, just go up to the random person, just fucking punt. No, okay, no.
Just give them a nice roundhouse.
No,
real good form, did a little hip movement, fucking really clean their clock.
Nice little fucking front kick to their forehead.
God.
But no, like, so I'm
Anthony Pettis shit. Right, continue.
Okay. Yeah, no, so I was, we've talked about this before on the podcast, like, plenty of times. How we have the ability to, like, control how we respond. Like, Jesus feckin'. Like we have the ability to respond to situations, right?
Yeah.
Perspectives. Now, was Marcus Aurelius this, he's a Stoic, and, like,
He's also a Roman Caesar.
Yeah, Roman Caesar, like emperor, like I'm just getting into research about him because I'm literally writing an entire paper on him, compared with Buddhism and how they can eliminate suffering. Like it's
Maximus.
It's
Are
like
you not entertained?
No,
Watched Gladiator recently. It's a great movie.
No, that was nice.
Whatever. Continue.
Yeah, but anyways, like in his journal that he used to write in, it's formerly called Meditations now. I don't remember the exact quote, but pretty much it explained how suffering is not caused by the thing external from us, but caused by our reaction to it.
Oh yeah,
right. And it's a internal view, and how when we revoke that, we gain like our power back. Like that's kind of what he says. It's not directly what he says, but it's crazy because if you take that, and like this is something that I also am like I've like done recently, I guess you could say, like throughout the past like 6 months to a year. It's like not taking the small shit and blowing it out of proportion.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like
even the big stuff, really.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like you can apply this in all circumstances.
When it comes to problems in general, like I'm sometimes I'm not as good, but I preach exercising detachment.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Because like I was talking about with the Batman, the Batman syndrome or something like that's the extreme angle where you create a different personality to view a problem separate from you as a person. It's similar, you just take your emotions out of it. It's very hard for people to do that. I stand by it. You gotta be a little fucked up in the head, to be honest, to really detach effectively.
Yeah. Because
you attach your problems and your emotions so much to this one particular problem. It's very hard for people to shut off their be a person and act as kind of a logical, like Mr. Spock, for example, pure fucking logic, and just exist. And it's like, okay, like for me,
you're not suppressing though your emotions.
You're not suppressing. You're separating.
Yeah, exactly. You're becoming the silent observer.
Yeah,
I guess you could. That's how I call it.
Yeah,
you can call it.
You're becoming really the watcher.
Observer.
Yeah. So it's like, and then think of it this way: you're like, if you've seen Doctor Strange, he's got his astral form. You pop out of your body, and your astral form can view it. Mm-hmm. You gotta acknowledge your astral form, separate from emotion. Mm-hmm. It's you, but it's not. Yeah. It's not. It's you with not your problems, and you can look at it for what it is. Yeah. For me, example, I was in a pretty when I was in the funk, not with the video. I was in a different funk during final season. I was getting fucked up. I was stressed. I was pissed. I was angry. I got past it. I hung out with puppies for the entire weekend, reset my fucking mind. I felt great. Got some bad news that day, but it doesn't matter because I was enjoying time with puppies and helped me reset. And I woke up in my bed that Monday morning. I'm like, what I'm doing isn't working. Time to switch up the channel. And what I'm doing now is working. Sometimes I fall back into the lazier schedule. But also I was thinking I've been working too hard. I need to work smart. Me banging my head against the wall, trying to work my ass off all the time, isn't working. I'm getting burnt out and doing a shit job, and it's reflected in my grades. And now, what I'm doing is, I'm playing it smarter. I separated my emotions from the problem, I reset, I took a break, and now I'm kicking ass. And it's important to remember, to separate yourself, from your funk, really. You gotta look outside. You gotta be outside looking in. You gotta kind of window shop with your problems. You gotta look from you're not in the store with all the hustle and bustle. You're on the outside looking in. Mm-hmm. And it's very important to do that if you're really going to effectively approach a problem.
Yeah. And let me just add this real quick. And so like what Cole was describing is like if you want to take this in a literal sense, like becoming the silent observer, it means just being conscious of your own consciousness. So being aware of your own awareness, and then you just observe the content that falls within your attention, right? So like, let's just say thoughts are going like fucking batshit crazy. If you can develop that awareness, that like silent observer awareness to watch your emotions, like how like, and this is like when inner space develops and you can really see the habits and begin to change. I just wanted to make that like
or meditate and reflect on them,
exactly,
or something.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's all about being authentic.
Definitely.
And if you're losing your fucking mind, it's not necessarily the best you. And it's important, like we were talking about this before, about becoming the best you, like within a social situation. You know, it's, for me, going back to the self-betterment thing, I was trying to be more social. I'm not an introvert by any means, like, sense of the imagination. I think I said this before, but it's like, I'm kind of an ambivert. I like hanging out with people, I like action, I like shit happening. But I also, when I'm working, leave me the fuck alone. You know? But what I'm doing is presenting myself in a different light to just kind of see how, not how much others view me, but how I can better myself. So I can be successful in more situations by changing my behavior. It's kind of the Carl Rodgers, that was the psychologist we were talking about before. He mentions a constant striving for personal growth within the personality, and that's kind of what I've been doing. I've definitely gone through a little bit of a transformation ever since the summer of like this year, and coming into the end of this year during the semester. But socially, I've very much evolved, and it's important that you look at yourself in a reactionary sense when it comes to social situations. When it comes to social situations, you can't necessarily rely on everybody else, but they're a part of it. Their validation is irrelevant to me, but how they behave when it comes to me is
Are
important.
you sure about that? You said the validation is irrelevant to you?
To me, yes.
But didn't you just say earlier that like you cared like about what people? I just want to make sure you get it accurate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Don't get me wrong. It feels good.
Okay.
But that's not the focus.
Okay.
The focus is not on the validation. The validation is relevant to my growth.
Gotcha.
That's
it's not the primary focus, right?
Bingo.
Okay. You appreciate the...
You gotta appreciate the praise.
Okay, good.
I'm not a sociopath or whatever. What are the terms?
I was not trying to make that personal by any means.
Oh, yeah,
I
no,
just want
I
to
know.
make sure they get an accurate interpretation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
But it's about, you need to separate their behavior and reactions when it comes to me is valuable, because it's not their view of me that gives me validation. It's how my actions affect the way they talk to me. It's about learning. It's about getting better. That's the focus of becoming better socially. Body language, keeping myself open, speaking clearly. Like, I had a job interview like a week or two ago for an IT position. And my nerves got to me, and I forgot the most basic IT question on the planet. On the fucking planet. Definitely didn't get that job. Had another job interview the next week for the gym at the school. And fucking crushed it. I was authentic. I conveyed my best self in the interview.
Nice.
I always make it a point to overdress to job interviews. Like, even if it's like something rinky-dink, like a Panera or something, you know. I went to a suit for my interview for Panera because I stand by this fact. If there is someone to impress, take the time to overdress. And so, I went there, nice navy blue polo, or not polo, like long sleeve dress shirt, black pants, and brown belt, and my nice boots. And, you know, that's another thing where I'm dressing nicer. But I went in there, I read the room, I was authentic, I told them what I wanted, what they wanted to hear, and I got the job. I crushed that job interview. Because it was like, I definitely put my best foot forward. I was speaking clearly, eye contact was good, it's a habit of mine, I'm very big with the hand movements. They asked me what motivated me, and I told them about the FBI job. I'm like, that's my goal. Whenever I'm in a bad spot, I think of that goal. If I fall short here, I can't get to there. And so they were like, they were very much resonating with the passion that I had towards that goal. And as a result, I got the position. So it's less about what they think of me and more about how they react to what I'm doing. It's kind of social prodding, really. It's kind of like I'm behaving differently in terms of small tweaks to my social interactions that are still authentic. I'm still being myself when it comes to this, but it's just trying to get better. It's about getting better at presenting myself in the best way I can.
It's like it's impossible to know like everything that's going on like in a room, like, but like similar to you, like I'm very conscious of like people's reactions to things, right? And it's like this is kind of like could be a downfall of mine, but I don't like to piss people off, right? Like I don't like to challenge people, like I don't like to do that stuff. Obviously, there's negative consequences to that, but what do you know? I get in the least amount of conflict like I've ever been in my life, you know what I mean? And once you start to develop those habits, those behaviors, right, like kind of like what you're doing right now, you'll automatically pick up on those behaviors and like social cues, right? And you'll naturally fall into like that alignment that is best way for you to thrive in that environment, right? Because like you're picking up on all this information, right, without even fucking trying. Passive progression.
Absolutely. And going back to the psychology angle, Carl Jung, I believe, could be wrong, could be a different psychologist. There was a like personality baseline that he had. It was kind of a grade situation. You have these like acronyms that describe people's personality. We were supposed to take a personality test for it was a homework assignment.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And mine came back as ENTJ, and it was extroverted, intuitive thinking, intuitive thinking and judging, or something like that. That was my personality type, and it reflected me completely. It's like very focused, very driven, very passionate, but able to very much work in a group, and it was like it described me like ENTJ ENTJ personality types.
This is mine.
Yeah, exactly. But it was ENTJ personality types make plans, and they're very conscious of making plans. And like whenever the guys have to like clean the house and stuff, I'll make sure to like gather everybody in the room, like what's everybody doing, how are we doing it, what's going on, and for the Halloween party there was a little bit of a discrepancy with the lads about the guest list and how many people we should invite. And I was like, house meeting, everybody here, what's your point, talk it over. Alright, so the camera died before. What I was saying essentially,
get butt naked in your bed with your friends.
Yo, what? Yeah, but alright, like we were saying, camera died, but we're going in. So essentially, what I was saying, ENTJ or ENTJ personality types like to make plans. I make it organically, just because I like efficiency. I like to make sure everybody's doing what they can to make shit go the smoothest, the fastest. So all like I was talking about before, we had a discrepancy when it came to our Halloween party about the guest list, and I call house meetings, and everybody agrees because it's good. We're all friends. It makes everything go smoothly. Living together. So I'm like, here's the deal. Both sides will present their points. Me and whoever's not talking, the jury essentially, me and Hayden are whoever's opposing arguments. The other two will chime in and make sure the best solution is presented, and we'll put it to a vote, which is kind of weird because we don't have a tiebreaker, but it is what it is, and we made sure it happens the best way. And it's like that's very much a leadership quality, even though I'm not necessarily out to lead anybody. It's a matter of, once again, me being authentic and just how I approach a certain situation, how it's very reactive. The other guys will be like, they'll come to the fucking house meetings that I call in the middle of the living room and we'll talk it out. And it's like, hey, here's our issue. Here's where we are. How can we get over here, but with the best way that everybody's satisfied? You know, we're trying. Think of it. There's a log in the road. We're trying to jump over it. But how can we use the minimal effort and do it the best way possible to get over the log? You know, and it's that kind of. It's the same thing with social situations. You're like, I'm not trying overtly to be validated by other people. It's about me getting better at interacting with people for the sake of my own development. And it's very important you distinguish between the two.
Yeah, but you're not using those people as means to an end. Like,
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
You know, my conversations are genuine. My intentions are genuine. But I have a subplot of personal growth.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I'm being 100%. I'm not trying to just talk to a bunch of people superficially just to fucking test different social cues and how people react.
Researching while you're
Yeah, exactly. I'm not using them as test subjects for my own social growth and developing what cues work the best. It's just I'm being organic. I'm implementing these tactics, but I'm holding a accurate conversation that's not inauthentic in any way.
Yeah. Wasn't there another thing you wanted to touch on, or was that?
Oh God!
Or you said you wanted to touch on something else.
Yeah, I fucking lost it.
Okay,
Well,
but no,
it'll
I mean, if you're down, I think we did a fucking great job. I mean, do you want to keep talking about this? I'll cut this part out.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay,
Keep going.
all right, yeah.
We got fucking plenty of time.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, passive progression is like a really, it's a very real thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, yeah, obviously.
It's very
obviously the fucking real thing. But like, it's a very real thing that each and every single one of us can do. Like, if we can do it, you can fucking do it. You're human, we're human, why not? You know what I mean? Like, you have consciousness, you have attention, you have the ability to change the way you respond.
And people sleep on it.
Yeah, people sleep on it. It's like,
they're not awake.
Oh my God, like,
they're not woke.
Yeah.
To fucking good shit.
Dude, it's like, it's crazy, man. Because like, you kind of described it earlier with social media. Russell Brand pointed this out, how this is kind of like indirectly related, but he's like I don't know if he's exactly what he said, but he was like to the viewers, he's like, all right guys, listen, I know it's gonna hurt some feelings, I know it's gonna hurt some emotions, but listen, 90% of the products made for human beings within, like, you know, the market, whatever you want to say, global market or U.S. market, in different areas, is shit we don't need, right? It's like, but it's portrayed as something we do need. And it's, nothing is really new. It's just kind of like new innovations of innovations that are already here, right? Like, for example, the iPhone, you can look at this as like video games, you can look at this as game consoles, right? Like, they're not like, they're small little tweaks, and then they're presented as brand new, right? And it's like, when we look at shit like that, it's very interesting because we can become so consuming, right? And we lack that producing quality.
Yeah.
And we just continue to consume.
Consumer.
And that's all we
Rampant.
know. And then we're like, we sit in bed and we look up at the ceiling and we're like, bro, why am I not making any progress? You want to know why you're not making any fucking progress? Because you're not doing shit, right? And like, I know I promote being a lot on this channel, right? And like, you can be and make progress at the same time. Like, I don't even know why I didn't mention this, right? That is literally, you're doing nothing, but you're making progress at the same time.
Passive progression, motherfucker.
Exactly. And it's like one of the most it's some of the most simple shit in your life, right? But it brings the most reaping rewards. And like, who would have thought just sitting on a bench, closing your eyes, listening to the birds, would bring so much inner peace, would allow you to reset yourself. And obviously this doesn't work for everyone. I understand, okay? But you gotta find that simple shit, whether it be working out, right? That might be some tough shit to do, right?
Yeah.
But it works, right? Like, indirectly it brings those benefits to you of like inner peace. It brings those benefits to you of like releasing your negativity. And
I think, like, not to cut you off, but it's like, I think this might be another David Goggins thing, but he was saying, like, you have to visit suffering. Like, you have to visit hardship. You need to visit difficulty. Dude. You know, if you can, you have to I don't know if he said this, but this could just be me. This could be a me thing. You got a vacation in hell.
Mm-hmm.
You got a vacation in hell sometimes.
Yeah.
And you just gotta see, like, you know, you gotta treat vacationing in hell like going to the sauna. It's hot. It sucks. It's hard down there. It's suffering. It's pain.
Yeah.
You gotta visit that.
You learn the most, though.
And then you come out of it. You gotta think of yourself like a fucking sword. You go into the fucking heat. You come out of the heat. You get beaten. You fucking hammering. You go back into the cold. You pull out your fucking shiny blade. Iron sharpens iron and man sharpens man.
Yeah, definitely.
You gotta become a fucking sword.
Yeah.
A razor of perfection.
Yeah.
That can cut through the bullshit.
Yeah. Another thing with passive regression that we haven't really... I mean, we have touched on this a lot. We just haven't really directly said it. It's like you surround yourself in the environment, right? That you can thrive in, right? And like... Because if you're in an environment, like I know this, like where you're not, where it's unpreferable, you don't necessarily like, and you're stuck in that shit 24/7, bro, you're gonna be miserable, man. And like, no wonder people turn to things like social media for a quick dopamine hit, like for an escape from their reality.
Or fucking drugs and all.
Yeah, exactly. Like they just,
fucking porn.
Exactly, bro. And like, yeah, damn, definitely. And they sell their soul. Or when I mean sell their soul, they, not literally, but kind of like they tie shit up, they tie themselves to so many obligations that they can't move, right? Like,
or they attach themselves to superficial concepts that will make them feel better.
Exactly.
It's like they trade, like you said, they ride the dopamine dragon.
Mm-hmm.
They trade them, like, it's like giving it's a trade, it's fucking selling your soul. You're giving a piece of your soul
man.
to the fucking dopamine dragon.
Yeah,
it's a sacrifice to feel better temporarily.
Yeah, definitely. And like what I consider to be your soul is like your attention, right? Like that awareness.
Your attention, your time, your fucking your drive, your motivation.
Yeah, man.
You as a person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that inner vehicle that the inner being that flows through this body.
Mm-hmm. And like you have to recognize that, and you have to like that's why. In any list, like of priority, like I'm at the top. Like for me, it's like, me, career, probably, family, and then maybe like, I don't know, something else. But, that's the top three. And like, don't get me wrong, I love my family. But the only reason why career is above that is because I feel like if I become successful, that's the best way I can serve them. Mm. Because they're putting all this effort into me, I owe it to them to succeed to the highest order because of what they do for me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, serving people. Yeah, very good point. Not just being completely selfish.
Yeah,
and. It's crazy because like we I don't think we said this on the podcast. We said this like when we were just talking before. Like Cole said, you don't necessarily believe in karma, right? But it's like what goes around comes around, right?
Yeah, and like that was going back to yesterday. Like that's what we brought it up as. It was like I don't necessarily believe in karma, but sometimes a fucking nice steaming pie of goodness gets dropped in your lap, and it's like enjoy. Yeah. Here you go. Here's a gift for all of your hard work.
Yeah, it's like
I was like that. Like I said before, I was fucking dying during that like kind of midterms week. I got fucked up. I got beaten to the ground. But like Rocky fucking says, you gotta get the fuck back up. Life will beat you to your knees and keep you there unless you get the fuck back up. I got the fuck back up. I kept doing what I was doing. I changed up what I was doing. But I kept doing the personal growth stuff that I was doing. And then yesterday, it gave me a heaping pile of goodness. And it was like, have fun. And now I'm on the other side of that. And I'm like, I'm still doing me.
100%.
I'm just enjoying the benefits.
Yeah, man. It's so true. And it's like, and like another thing.
Don't take it for granted.
Yeah, definitely don't take
it for granted. Recognize it.
No.
Don't abuse it. That's a good thing. If something good happens in your life, don't take it for granted, but don't rely on it. it's not always going to be good.
Yeah.
Like I said, you got to visit suffering. You got to vacation in hell.
Yeah.
But it really gives you value of what's good, and you need to recognize it and be thankful for it. But like I said, don't attach your soul to the dopamine dragon that you get temporarily.
I just got a fat idea. Hopefully, shit. All right. Well, we'll just.
We got time.
We got time. All right. Hopefully.
I'm doing the math.
Okay. All right.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay.
Roughly.
Let me check the camera real quick. Just in case.
Oh yeah, dude. We got like 5 minutes.
Okay. Cool.
Or
So
8 or 6
yeah. So something like. Okay. Hopefully I can. I kind of a little bit forgot a little bit about what I was gonna say, but yeah. So kind of touching.
There you go. Massage the brain.
Drop
knowledge.
Yeah. So pretty much.
Hit me.
Pretty much like you were saying, like we can't control the reality. Like what we want will not always reflect back towards us, right? And so on Friday, this past Friday, I was editing in the morning the dialogue video that I put out last Friday, and so I was sitting there like wherever the fuck I was, and I was like, because I dropped my blue chip in the dining hall, and I was like, oh man, thank God I found it. I reach into my pocket and it's not fucking there. So I picked it up and I lost it again. And so I was like, fuck, bro. And then like something else happened. Like, oh yeah, no, I had to be somewhere at 1 o'clock. And I still had to like do all these homework assignments, and it was like probably like 12 o'clock. So I managed to like, I was like, oh man, fuck me, dude. And I was like, what was going through my head was like, damn, like, I was like, yeah, shit's not going according to plan. Like that's what I was thinking about, and I was feeling a little bit distressed, and definitely was not in a preferable state of mind. But that foundation that I built over these past years of just beingness, right? And I'm not saying I was fucking stoned while doing it. Like, oh, dude, it's not a problem. Yeah, it was a fucking problem.
Of course you got to
but I'm not like freaking out, I'm not being like, I have a plan of action, and we started to actualize and started to move towards solutions. And that's a big thing with passive progression, right? And like passive progression is not necessarily moving towards solutions, but when you take a step back and let's just put the passive progression thing to the side, let's just talk about that doingness, like that, like how you react to situations, like we were talking about earlier. Like when shit hits the fan, what are you gonna do, right? And it's like if you like you're like fuck shit, like you can continue to focus on the problem, which it's okay. You have to identify it at some time, but if you can start moving towards a solution, right? So I went around, looked for my blue chip, couldn't fucking find it, and then I went upstairs to the computer lab in like Marcus White. I uploaded the video, I rendered it completely, uploaded it, did my my philosophy assignment, and then went to the blue chip office, and then got a new blue chip, showed up on time here. It was like a festival going on, and boom, we were good. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like that's kind of like a minuscule to medium example, but it's very interesting because if you don't have that foundation there to help you respond in situations the best way possible and start moving towards a solution, you're only going to drag yourself down more.
Yeah, and it's like going back to that. I'm going to use the BC Boys fucking lyric to do this. Make no mistake and switch up the channel.
Sure.
And fucking, like that's what you gotta do. Like if you're on a bad frequency, you're on a bad vibe, change the channel.
Yeah.
Too much interference. Clear it up.
Yeah.
And then fucking fly off the handle.
Exactly. And this is once again changing the way you respond to situations. If you do something that's embarrassing, right, and you're like, oh fuck, man, I shouldn't have done it. Well, shit, to the past, like you can't fucking do it. So, like one last thing,
fucking Rafiki hit you in the fucking face. I'm like, what was that for? I'm just like, doesn't matter. To the past.
Like, don't get me wrong.
Baboon wisdom.
Don't get me wrong. It's good to like look back on the past and learn from it. But like exactly, that's what the past is there for. But if you stay in the past, then you're fucked.
Yeah.
But if you go like, okay, shit, that was embarrassing. Change your perspective. Be like, I changed my perspective and be like, fuck that. Like, I'm not feeling that way. I don't want to feel that way.
That's exactly what we were talking about in the previous episode. Like the one we recorded with Jordan. I don't get embarrassed ever. Because I look at it and I don't take myself seriously. I can laugh it off immediately. I'm like, that was fucking stupid. But that was kind of funny though. Like, fucking Jordan refuses to stop giving me shit about this. Fucking, we went to the beach, and I crashed and burnt talking to these girls. I mean, dumpster fire.
Oh,
And, you know,
yeah.
fucking...
Hey, you're fired now, though.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, you know, it's like, so what? It was funny. And you gotta eat shit sometimes. You have to, it's like stand-up comedy. You gotta bomb before you get better. And it's like, you gotta recognize, I don't recognize it. It's definitely a failure. A spectacular failure. But I don't let it affect me. I look at it as a learning point. And it's like, I forget who said this, but it's, mistakes are often lessons learned too late. And it's important to remember, you know, separate from the problem. Pass and progress. Don't go looking for something. Just be a better you.
Yeah, man. And like, if you're listening to this right now, I am grateful for this conversation we are having. You know what I mean? Because like, to understand, like, we're not saying this to put ourselves above others. Of course not.
No.
But to
we're
be
here to spread the
exactly,
spread the
like,
love.
yeah, exactly. We want people to thrive, be in the state of the most preferable state that they can be themselves. Right? Not like us. You do you.
Yeah.
But like, dude, like, I just had this like really grateful feeling for like having this type of conversation, and I just want to thank you, man. Like, it's like, it's very rare that you come into people like at this frequency.
I let the sun shine down on me. I pray for blessings for all of my homies. Let them know you can get it if you want it. Yeah. I manifest it and then I go get it. No, I ain't perfect and I can admit it. Living the moment, ain't taking it serious. Yeah. I'm just enjoying the ride. I treat my life like a tide. Niggas ain't killing my vibe. Lately been feeling